Hi everyone. With HIPAA regulations and security issues being so much in the spotlight now, I wanted to get the word out about a scam we're seeing a lot here in our email inbox. If you or one of your staff members makes this mistake, you can potentially compromise your computer network and your patient's protected health information, causing a lot of misery, not the least of which would be for your practice's reputation. So even if you are computer savvy yourself, believe me, many of the people in the clinic are not. So just consider sharing this with any staff or colleagues who might find it helpful. So here's the latest thing we're seeing. You check your email and receive what appears to be an invoice from a company. If you have a decent email service, they're generally going to put messages like this into the spam folder. So that's your first red flag. But we've all seen that sometimes legitimate emails get mistakenly placed in the spam folder. So it's not uncommon to check there occasionally to make sure that nothing gets missed. First thing that gets your attention with this message is that it's a past due notice. But additionally, something about the name sounds familiar. The reason is that the name almost always is familiar. In this case, so as not to embarrass someone who has taken our course before, we're blurring out the details. But this is the name of someone familiar to us, and she appears to have had her computer compromised by a scam or virus at some point. And what it's done is that it's stolen her contacts list. It's not a big deal for us or for anyone else in her contacts, but what the scammers are now going to do is use a program to blast out emails like this to everyone in her list. They're going to put the person you know as the name of the sender. Most of us have seen this before in one form or another, where suddenly what appears to be a friend of yours is emailing you, asking you to open some link or to buy some product. From the scammer's point of view, this adds credibility to the appearance of the email, and therefore the more likely that you are to open it. So if you ever suspect something isn't right, always do this first. Hover your cursor over the sender area. Don't click, don't do anything, just hover it over there for a few seconds. Often the first thing you'll find is that the name you see as being the sender, in this case, will not match the actual details in any way. Here we can see that the message is really coming from Holiday Sands International. It just doesn't sound like the type of business that would be sending an invoice to a medical practice. If you want to be sure, you can check it out real quick. And here we go. It appears to be a travel service of some kind. Why would a travel service send a medical practice a past due invoice? Actually, let's take it a step further. Let's say you allow your employees to check their personal email from the company computer, and one of your employees received this and she just got back from a trip to the Bahamas. You can see now how easy it is for some people to drop their guard. This is just one example of why you need to be so careful when it comes to allowing personal activity on clinic computers. At this point, we've seen enough red flags to just leave this in spam, not open it, not do anything. But for the sake of learning, let's say it's open. The first thing that jumps out is that there is no personalization whatsoever. While this is a red flag, keep in mind that some email scammers use very sophisticated software, which, if they have enough details about you, they can make it look more personalized. They'll include your first name or any other information that they have, which can again add to the believability. So even if you do see some personalization, you can't entirely rule out a scam. You need to look at it in the whole context. But this is the holy grail of scamming. That is, having your victim click on a link or attachment. Please, for your patient's privacy and your practice's reputation, please don't ever click on a link or attachment within a scam email, because that's how they deliver their virus or malware. What if they don't want your money and they don't really have any hopes that you're going to pay a bogus invoice? It could be that all they want to do is install what's called a keylogger, which records the information you type into the computer. And within that information is the username and password you use to log onto your practice's EMR. Think about the power they would have. They could access all of your patient's protected health information and use it in any number of ways, including holding it for ransom. Fines for HIPAA violations nowadays run in the millions of dollars. If you think I'm kidding, just take a look at the Department of Health and Human Services website to check out the latest examples. I've included a link below. Again, please consider sharing this with any staff or colleagues that you think might be interested. Trust me when I say that the majority of those working in the clinic nowadays are nowhere near as computer savvy as many believe. Just because they can use Facebook or Pinterest does not mean that they're exercising common sense about how to safely check their email and navigate online. So if you know someone who could use this reminder, spread the word. Thanks.